What? But you were so smart.
Too smart. You remember the case of the hairless werewolf?
Yeah, you solved that case in like less than a day, man. It was rad.
Yeah, well, you know what wasn't rad? My neurons. They're firing faster than they ever should for a middle schooler. And I mean, over the years, my powers of observation and deduction and problem solving have only grown exponentially. It's like this little seed of information plants itself in my head, right? And, you know, I'm thinking, I'm going down a path, and suddenly, you know, that little seed grows into like a small tree, right? And, you know, a branch grows from that tree, and then there's, you know, 3 branches from that, and then 5 from that, and then, you know, suddenly there's all these little bushes popping up next to the tree. What? I didn't plant those. Where the fuck did those come from? And suddenly, this little garden, it just shoots up to the size of redwoods. And this happens every time. It just gets bigger and more complex whenever I look at anything like that jacket you have on. I can tell just by looking at it that it was made in a small textile factory in the district of Dhaka in Bangladesh. I can tell you resent the fact they took the cost of it out of your paycheck, even though that's standard issue for the entire department. That's evident in how infrequently you wear it. There's no wear on the zipper, there's no pilling in the armpits. It's also too big for you, which means you don't care enough to ask for a replacement. You've also recently lost a lot of weight, probably due to some psychological insecurity that we don't have time to get into now, and all that and more is going through my head. And I know all of that just by looking at it, and suddenly there's a whole national forest in my head trying to burst through my skull. And do you know how insane that feels?
Well, you know, that's a pretty good problem for a detective to have.